The first sign almost always goes unnoticed. It is not a confession, not a love letter, and not even a kiss. It is a quiet choice someone makes every single day without telling you. Most people spend years searching for words when the truth has been hiding inside simple actions all along. By the time they realize it, the opportunity has often slipped away forever. Today's story is about those silent choices, the invisible signals that reveal when a woman has already chosen someone in her heart but isn't ready to say it aloud. Before we begin, if you believe kindness, patience, and genuine love still exist in this world, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner for more emotional stories that remind us why human connections matter. The morning sun painted the city streets in warm light as Adrian walked toward the neighborhood bookstore where he worked every weekday. At 29, he had learned to expect very little from life. After years of disappointments, he convinced himself that love belonged to people who were louder, more confident, and somehow luckier. He believed he was simply the quiet observer, the person who watched happiness happen to everyone else. Then one ordinary Tuesday, someone quietly began rewriting that belief without him even realizing it. Her name was Serena. She had recently moved into the neighborhood and visited the bookstore almost every afternoon. She never arrived in a rush. Instead, she wandered slowly through the shelves, running her fingers across book covers as if every title carried a hidden memory. Adrian noticed her because she always smiled before speaking, a smile that seemed honest rather than practiced. He assumed she was simply being polite. Days turned into weeks, and something unusual happened. Serena somehow managed to appear whenever Adrian was working. If another employee was behind the counter, she browsed quietly until Adrian returned. He thought it was coincidence. He never imagined it could be the first sign. Female psychology often reveals affection through consistent presence. Someone who repeatedly chooses to be around you without obvious reason is making a silent emotional investment. She was already choosing him with her time. The second sign appeared in moments so small they could easily be ignored. Serena remembered everything. She remembered that Adrian preferred green tea over coffee. She remembered his favorite author after hearing it only once. She remembered the story about his grandfather teaching him to repair old books. Weeks later, she surprised him by bringing a worn vintage novel with damaged pages because she believed only he could restore it. Adrian thought she simply had a remarkable memory. He never understood that people naturally remember details connected to someone who matters deeply to them. Attention follows emotional importance, and Serena's heart had already begun placing Adrian at the center of her everyday thoughts. Spring arrived, filling the park beside the bookstore with bright flowers and families enjoying warm afternoons. Adrian often spent his lunch break reading beneath the same old tree. Without planning it, Serena started bringing her own lunch there too. Sometimes they talked about books. Sometimes they simply watched children laugh while birds drifted across the blue sky. There was never pressure to impress one another. Silence itself became comfortable. The third sign slowly became impossible for everyone except Adrian to ignore. Serena quietly supported his dreams. When Adrian mentioned wanting to organize a community reading event for children, she immediately volunteered her weekends. She designed invitations, encouraged local families to attend, and convinced nearby businesses to donate refreshments. She celebrated every tiny success as though his victories belonged to both of them. Female psychology often expresses commitment through emotional partnership long before romantic words are spoken. When someone invests energy into building your future instead of merely watching from a distance, it often means they have already imagined themselves being part of that future. The reading event became an unforgettable afternoon. Dozens of children filled the park with laughter while parents thanked Adrian for creating something meaningful. Throughout the event, Serena remained nearby, never demanding attention yet always making everything easier. Every time Adrian looked overwhelmed, she was already solving the next problem before he noticed it existed. Friends began asking whether they were dating. Adrian laughed nervously and insisted they were only good friends. Deep inside, fear spoke louder than hope. He had convinced himself that someone as thoughtful as Serena could never truly choose him. His insecurity became the only thing preventing him from seeing what everyone else already understood. Then came the fourth sign. One rainy afternoon, the bookstore lost power during a sudden storm. Customers hurried outside while dark clouds covered the afternoon sky. Adrian worried about damaged books and flooded windows. When everything settled, he discovered Serena quietly waiting inside with an umbrella she had carried across town just for him. She had no reason to stay except one simple truth: when life became difficult, the first person she wanted to stand beside was Adrian. That is perhaps the clearest sign of all. When a woman consistently chooses to share your hardest moments instead of only your happiest ones, her heart has often made its decision long before her voice ever does. Standing together outside beneath the clearing sky, Adrian finally recognized what had been in front of him for months. Love had never arrived dramatically. It had arrived through consistency, quiet loyalty, remembered details, shared dreams, and unwavering presence. Serena had already chosen him without ever needing to announce it. Their story reminds us that the strongest relationships rarely begin with grand declarations. They grow from everyday choices repeated with sincerity until one day those choices become impossible to ignore. Sometimes the greatest mistake is waiting for words while overlooking actions that have been speaking all along. If this story touched your heart or reminded you of someone special in your own life, please like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to Kindness Corner, and leave a heartfelt comment to help this message reach others who may need hope today. Special request: comment below. True love is shown through actions. As the evening sunlight gently broke through the passing clouds, Adrian realized that the most beautiful love stories are rarely loud. They are written quietly, one thoughtful gesture at a time, until two hearts finally understand they have been choosing each other all along.